Hello, I'm Lee Hatcher for Growth Coaching International. In this short case study interview with Darren Cox and Marty Telfer from the St Philip's Christian College in Cessnock, New South Wales, you'll hear how a coaching approach is now part of the everyday dialogue of staff right across all sections of the school. We caught up with them at the National Coaching in Education Conference and asked Darren how he got introduced to coaching.
So I first got introduced to coaching as a subject with Chris Needham and John Campbell when I was doing my Masters in Educational Leadership. So I chose it as an elective subject, and it was the most practical, useful subject that I found. And I thought that in trying, at that stage I was the principal of a school, and in trying to develop a culture where people feel supported, there's a real sense of collaboration. For me, it just absolutely made the best sense, and I came back to school with this is fantastic. This has just made such an incredible difference to me. Gosh, this is going to help everybody else. And it wasn't even like there was a sort of a better alternative or option. It was like, well, let's just go for this. So that was where coaching first started for me as an interest in education.
I think personally, when I first was introduced to it, it really aligned with my own leadership style and my own leadership strengths. And so when I first was introduced to it, I thought, yeah, this is something that I, in some ways, I am already doing, but also gave me, it also helped me to understand how I could emphasize those strengths that I had and use them effectively, really put them to use. And so that was from a personal point of view. That's what, for me, I think also, for us at our school, I think we were trying to wrestle with the question of how do we increase the trust in our school community. And the challenge as school leaders is to think through how do you enhance trust in community across parents and teachers and students. And we saw coaching as a great strategy for doing just that, a tool for enhancing trust in the school. And so we've adopted that as one way of building trust.
So what I did, as part of that course, I was required to coach some other people, and as they were coaching others. And so already I had sort of, between 6 and 9 people in the school already now invested as part of it, which at the time was part of my study, but it was also to see would this work effectively in the school. At that stage, that worked really, really well for those people. So I had them sort of espouse the values of this and talk to other staff about it as well. I then did some absolute basic training with our executives and all of the leaders in the school to say, look, when you're talking to people, there is a different way of being with these guys. Instead of you thinking you've got to tell them all the answers, if you can actually support them through them owning their own leadership and development in that, they're going to own it a lot more, which means they've got a greater chance of success. And so I gave them some just minimal tools at that stage to try and engage them in. And so over the last 2 years, that's sort of been the journey. We have had everyone in the school have to be in a coaching conversation. And at that stage, they got to choose one of 3 people that they would like to be coached by. And so for the last couple of years, that's the way it's been operating. And we're now at a stage where everyone in the school has now been had the one-day introduction with GCI. We've got a couple of others who are going through a lot more high level of accreditation. People are operating in triads. They are now also choosing coach for other aspects of their development and professional practice. So some want to have coaching in regards to their leadership development. Some want to have coaching in regards to how they can better themselves in another area, as well as the coaching triads, which are particularly aimed at their professional goals in regards to teaching standards, which works really well. We've also encouraged all the grades and faculty teams, all the different teams in the school, to have a coaching approach to their conversation. So at the end of a day or the end of a week when staff are getting together, instead of saying, how do we think that went this week? Actually now they've got some coaching skills and some coaching tools in order to guide those questions a little bit more intentionally, leading to an outcome for moving forward in that unit or that way of teaching. And so that's the work that we've done in setting up the coaching culture in our school.
One of the first important things about developing a coaching culture is giving people experience of coaching. So having that, firstly understanding what it's like to be coached and the benefits of it, I think there is I think people gravitate towards that and straight away taste the how successful it can be just in your own growth and development, and see the importance of it. And then once they've had a taste of it, then it's about training the other staff in I think particularly the thing that's been important for us as we think about a culture of trust is about the way that the kind of conversations that you can have in a school, conversations that are open, conversations that are honest, conversations that are supportive. These are the kinds of conversations you want to happen in your school, but for those conversations to happen, you need that trust. And it's about how you turn up to those conversations. And I think for our school, what coaching has done is has helped not just the school leaders, but it's helped everyone to understand that coaching way of being. And it gives you some skills, but it also gives you those personal characteristics that are really important for building and enhancing trust between teachers, in particular for us at the moment. And that, I think, has led to a coaching culture.
So the first year or so, I wasn't fortunate enough to have sort of Marty with me at that time, the deputy, so I had to own a whole lot of that and take people on that journey. But now I've been fortunate enough that Marty Telfer, the deputy's got the passion for it and is the champion of it. And so now it is a part of our professional learning conversations. So once every couple of weeks, there is a small segment of training in regards to that. We've got templates on when we're meeting with different people now in regards to, we sort of couch those conversations now as a coaching conversation. And so we're just embedding it into every aspect of professional practice, that this is a way that we now go about this, this is a way we now go about this. And with scaffolding for all the staff and making sure that the key leaders are trained up, we've got Marty taking staff through a next level of sort of training in that area as well. And it's making massive difference in the school. And for us, I think we're a fair way along the journey. But gosh, we've got such a long way to go to make this the absolute winner. For us, the next stage is really to see more investment into coaching in students in regards to owning their own learning. I would suggest that there's conversations happening with students when it's sort of in regards to negative behaviour, but now it's about them getting to own their own learning as well. And so that's the next step of the journey for us.
They talk about the ripple effect in coaching, and I think what we found is that that this may be something that we see as really valuable, but you actually need to get others to have that buy-in, to see the value of coaching. And so opening them up to the coaching experience, giving them some very simple skills in how to do coaching themselves. And then what happens is once they see the value, they then start to operate like that with their teams. And so again, for us, I think what's been most important has been not so much the coaching process, although that's a great foundation and we've trained our staff in that. But really what's been most important is a coaching approach, and so once you have that approach to leadership or to conversations or to the way that you engage in feedback. Once you have that coaching approach, it applies to all of the different areas of the school. And I think with that in place, we can then use that for the way that we then engage with the students. We can use that for the way that we engage with the parents. And it's just about understanding some simple practical ways of engaging in relationship with others that builds safety and it builds trust, and I think that's the kind of culture that you want to create, and I think that's what has happened at our school.
For more information on Growth Coaching International's professional learning programs, head to www.growthcoaching.com.au.